My name is Lisa, and I'm an internal support coordinator with WEX FSM. And I wanted to welcome you all to today's session of Solution Studio. There's 20 sessions in the rotation that will cover different features of the software, and the first 4 days of the week will cover different features, and Fridays are reserved for Q&As. So if you sign up for the Friday Q&A, there's a place to add questions ahead of time so that we can kind of make sure that we're ready for anything that you would like to go over. If you need help, make sure that you always reach out to customer support by going down to the Help Center and clicking on Contact Support. If you would like to sign up for some of the other Solution Studio appointments, you can go to the Help Center, click on Help, and search for Solution Studio. The article will pop up that contains the calendar and the previous webinar replays so that you can review them there as needed or sign up for any of the new ones that are coming up in the next little bit. Okay. We also have a survey at the end of this webinar and all of our webinars so that you can put your responses in there. Also, I'd like to use it for any subjects that you see that we're missing that you want us to go over. So we'd appreciate your help for your feedback to see if there's anything else that we can go over that you might want to walk through. Okay, so today we're working on maintenance plans and recurring revenue. So why would we want to set up maintenance plans for our company? Because maintenance plans are a measurement of the value of your company. The more maintenance plans you have, the more solid your customer base is, and you have additional annual revenue generated outside your regular install and service business. And it's predictable income. You have the option to have the customer pay up front for the plan, where you see the bulk increase of your cash flow at that point, or you have the option to make it easier to sell maintenance plan to your customers by offering a low monthly payment that automatically generates income in the background every month. This increases your monthly cash flow, and you can schedule the service windows during non-peak seasons so that your techs have something to do during those times. Some companies are too small to be big and too big to be small. This means that during peak season, it feels like you don't have enough employees, but during other seasons, when it's slow, it feels like you have too many employees and you don't have enough to keep them busy. So if you plan the service windows during your slow season, you can keep your employees busy, service your customers, and have additional income during those slow times. So kind of for an example, if you do AC work in Florida, you know that from about March until end of October, sometimes into November, you're running flat out. You wouldn't have time to do service windows. But then come around December or January, everybody in Florida opens their windows. They don't usually have to use heat or air conditioning. So you don't really have anything to do. So you could schedule your service windows then so that your techs have something to do and your customers get their service windows done. Okay, so let's get started. Okay, so there are certain things that you need to have in place to do maintenance plans. And maintenance plans are tied tightly to your price book. So one of the things that you need to look at is in under more applications, price book, and my pricing categories. And if you have been with us a while and you haven't gone in here and looked, sometimes it's good to go back and review these. Oops. Sorry. Pricing default. Went too far. This field is anchored here. You can't edit it like you can all these other ones. And this is what offers up when a customer has a maintenance plan. So you would need to make sure that the percentage here is correct for what you want to offer your customers as a discount on their invoices because they have a plan. Some companies don't offer any discounts at all for having a maintenance plan. Some do. So it's just up to you as a company. And the one thing that you'll need to look at anytime you come in our systems and you see these little yellow banners, make sure to pay attention because they fly under the radar. So if I came in and I changed this to a 15% discount, this banner says the changes made to the pricing strategy will take effect when creating new products in the price book. So it's not going to go back and update all of your previous price book items. Now, if you have Profit Rhino, our flat rate price book, these will automatically update real time when you change these. But for the price book that you build, it's static in our system. And so you would either need to come into your price book, go to my price book, and go to each item and update these. If you only have a few items, it's no problem. But if you have a lot, we would be able to update these in bulk by a support request for you. So if you came into details and I had changed this and this was off, see, or to 15%, I would have to update this. You can turn it off, turn it back on, should update. And if you need to manually adjust this, you can manually adjust it here. But you would need to do that for all previously created products in your price book. The other thing, we have some people who don't want to, I got to move my little Zoom thing out of the way. They don't want to offer a discount at all, and they don't want it ever showing up on their job forms. So you can go to Jobs, Job Preferences, and there's some hidden settings here in the back end. I would never change the job number because if you go back and change the job numbers, you may create duplicates. So this is set when you kind of sign up. So there should be a really good reason to change this. If not, just leave it alone. And you can come in here and turn this off. Always hover over eyes when you see it. So this is the default value for maintenance plan savings on invoices and proposals. If you do not want to ever offer these, you can turn it off so that it will not offer this up on the job form as a default when somebody has a maintenance plan. Okay. So now when you set up your maintenance plans, you need to think about, okay, how am I going to do these? If you're new to maintenance plans, as you can see, there's plenty of them in here. Well, this is our test site, so sometimes we go in here to break things. So sometimes things go awry, but most of the things in here are really good. But you can see we have a lot of testers in here, and they've created a lot of different maintenance plans. So you can create it, you can name it anything you want. You can go as basic as one maintenance plan and have the two service windows, or you can go monthly. Or maybe you have to change out filters for a commercial. It could have 12 service windows. So it's just whatever you prefer to offer to your customers. When you create a new maintenance plan, you can name it. If you're syncing to QuickBooks, when you type in the name, it will duplicate it down here. It'll also tell you if the name is already in use in QuickBooks. And this is what the name you'll see in QuickBooks. You can put in here the description of what you're going to offer them. Spring and fall service, it does include the filter, it doesn't include the filter, that type of thing. But you've got 3,000 characters here to put everything in here that you would be offering them. You can choose a color for the star to see if a tech looks at it, they can see right away what type of plan it is by the star. You saw in our setup, we had like 20 plans in there and all have a different color stars. And if you don't like this color, you can always click here, go to the palette and start clicking in the palette and bringing up a color that you would like. Okay, the contract length. So this is totally up to you how you run your company. You may want to run it for 1 year and renew every year. You may want to do it until canceled or 10 years so that it flies under the radar and set it up for auto invoicing and auto recurring payments. So it just runs in the background until 10 years. But if you have a price increase, then you'll need to go in and update these. So it's totally up to you what you would like to do. The annual price, okay, I'm just going to put a year in there. The annual price, let's say it's $180. Okay. If you're syncing, you're going to have to choose an income account. 2026 in here? No, you don't. Okay. That's in my other one. So if you're using a class, you can use a class, whether you charge tax or not. whether to send auto reminders. We are having a new feature that's coming out for auto renewal, and it should be out soon. So when it comes out, we'll go over that with you in one of the future webinars. You can upload terms if you have a sheet that you have all of your maintenance plan items on there, what you offer, you can upload it, or you can put in your terms. You just type in your terms in here. Service windows. To have a maintenance plan, you have to have at least one service window. You hit add service window, and you can put the beginning month, the ending month, and name it. And if you need a fall, you can add fall or how many ever you need. Choose a job type and an estimate of how long it will take to do it. Okay. And then save your plan. Once you save your plan, you have a template for what you can offer your customers. So let's go to Jack Dawson. He's my favorite guy. So once you sell a maintenance plan, it will show up here and you'll see the number 1. Okay. I created this job. They went out for an appointment and they're going to sell a maintenance plan. So to sell a maintenance plan, you have several options. Okay. You can come down here and recommend a maintenance plan, and then you would choose which one. And then you can email this invoice to a customer and they can sign up now. And if they sign up now, it will add the amount of the plan, $195, to this invoice so that they can pay for it now. If you are there in person, you can hit sign up now and it opens our maintenance plan modal. So it will put in the plan that you recommended to them. If they choose a different one, you can change it. If you had a paper process before where it had an agreement number on there, you can always add that in here. The description is here that you put in the template. And if you want to edit it at this time by saying maybe they have 2 systems or something like that, you can edit it on the fly as well. The plan start date and the planned end date and the annual price are a calculator. So if you come in here and change this to 28, the annual price stays the same, but now the contract total is $390. If you try to shorten the number of days in the plan, it's going to change the contract total. So if you need a 2-year plan, I would go ahead and create a 2-year plan so that way you get paid correctly, because it's going to go for the annual price and then to send out an invoice for the second year if you only set it up as a year plan. If it's a 2-year plan, they can pay up front, or you can go to the service windows, make sure those are okay. If you're selling it in September, March may be your next one, but if you're selling it a different time of year, you can change which service window is going to be first and it'll load that way. Reminders are very, very important because we have a maintenance plan appointment scheduling report to use that you can send notifications out to your customers to call you to schedule, so you don't waste your time calling them. It prompts them to call you first, and I'll show you how to do that. And then that way you don't have to keep calling and taking your office person out of play to call all of these. But you have to have a recipient here, and you can add more than one. I've seen husband and wife, both emails and both text, up to 4. But if this isn't turned on, when you go to use that report, it's going to show a 0 as a destination, and you can't send the notifications because it doesn't have a destination. When you get to payment, if you choose on invoice, it will add it to the invoice. But we have the option to do payment plans. And this is what we talked about, taking payment up front or having those recurring smaller monthly payments, which makes it easier to sell to somebody, running in the background so that you have cash flow all year long. So you click on the payment plan and it will divide it up. Remember that start date and end date and the annual price was a calculator. So it will figure it up. It's going to be monthly, or you can change it if you want to, quarterly, annually. was going to be 11 payments at 1773, and you cannot change this date to today because recurring payments run after midnight. Regular credit card payments settle about 8 in the evening. And so to not block up the system with all these monthly recurring payments, they run after midnight. So you can't schedule a payment to run today because they already ran very, very early this morning. So the next day that you can run is tomorrow, but this will set it up for you. You can choose auto generate invoice, and this is great because the minute that this 1773 payment runs, it's going to create an auto invoice for that 1773, and it's going to mark it paid because if you put this on the invoice and then just run payments in the background, it looks like they still owe you money. But they don't because they're on track with a payment plan. So if you auto invoice, it makes the customer's balance look correct. You can email a customer a receipt. Some companies don't want to. They want it to fly under the radar and just let it run in the background. Some people want their customer to get a receipt. You can do that. You can choose a tax group. You can set up a stored card payment, a stored bank account if you process checks with us. And this will stay on the customer's payments tab so that you can use it again. And it will use this stored payment every month to run that payment. Okay. So that's how you go ahead and add it from an invoice. So let's go to Mr. Dawson. And you also have the ability to add a maintenance plan here. And there's only 2 reasons I would add it here. I would add it here if you're giving it away free, because you can always choose not now for the payment. Or if you are coming from another system and the maintenance plan was paid for in the other system, and you just need to put it in here so that you have your service windows so that you can start scheduling those service windows. The third reason, if they called in and said, I wanted a maintenance plan, and you sign them up, you can go ahead and add them here and go through the whole process to get to the payment, set up a payment plan for them, and you don't have to have a job, an appointment to do this. It's already set up here. And yes, I want to cancel this. No, I don't want to save it. You could come in here and go to any payment, any maintenance plan that you had created and schedule the service windows from here. So that way you don't have to have a job. You don't have to have another invoice because the auto invoicing is going to take that $1773 payment a month, make an invoice, shake hands with it, and move on with life. Okay. So now that you have a maintenance plan set up and you have recurring payments, how do you track them? Okay. So you would go to payment options and recurring payments. So they're going to be running in the background, but somebody still has to monitor them because occasionally they put a block on their credit card. Their credit card might be stolen. Their credit card might be expired. And so overdue payments is what you want to monitor. Down here, this is all your upcoming existing plans, and you can monitor them. They'll be fine, running in the background, but the overdue ones are the ones that you want to take a look at. And if you reach out to the customer and they said, oh, I had a block on it, go ahead and run it tonight. You can click here and you can go run tonight, and then it will run tonight. If it's a bad card, you would need to update the card information and then set it to run again. Now, if we go back to, let's see, 1439, let's go see Jack Dawson again. So the recurring payment lives up here in payment options. It also is visible here so that if you had a payment plan, it would show up here and tied to the maintenance plans. Okay. So you would see it there as well. You would see all the payments running in here and the invoices. You have the option on the invoice list to kind of monitor these. You have the option of all invoices. You can see auto recurring invoices only. And the way to tell them apart is auto invoices always start with an A. Okay. And you're going to see a large number. So depending on how many payments, it can go up to -12 if it's annual, -24 if it's 2 years. So you may see a lot of these in here with the same name. Let's see, let's go on to one of these and I'll show you what it looks on the customer's page because mine didn't have one. There's where the payment plans will show. All the A invoices, these are where they've all failed, okay? And these are the maintenance plans that have been canceled. Unpaid balance in here as well, okay? So scheduling service windows. If you come here and there's no maintenance plan, you can always check to see if it's expired by here or if it's on a different location. This one's got 3, but it looks like they've all been done. And let's see. I want to find one that has a service window so I can show you. So the maintenance plan appointment scheduling report is the one that I talked about that you can use this to send notifications to all of your people who have service windows that you need to schedule. You can go by plan if you'd like. Anytime there's a box that doesn't have a drop down like this little caret, it's a multi-select. So you can choose any variables that you want and you can go in and find anybody who's unscheduled. And see how it has a 1 here? Remember I told you on the maintenance plan setup, if you didn't have the notifications turned on, this would be a 0. But since this has a 1, it has a destination. And you can see that this is where it's going to go. You can see that January to June is the service window. So you can go select all and send everybody that has that. Now, if you have 1,000 maintenance plans and you send these all out, your office may not be able to handle 10% of those calls coming back in. So you may want to unclick everything and then just choose certain ones to send. And I'm going to, oh, look, it's Jerry Garcia. I'm going to send Jerry Garcia one. I can review it. It'll tell me how many are going out. I can send the notification. It'll tell me when it went, and it'll show the last time that you sent this out. I kind of like to do the 3-strike rule. Send it out to them twice this way. And you'll be able to click on here and see how many times you've seen it, sent it to them, and they've seen it. And third time, pick up the phone and call them. But as they schedule, this number will start to go down and you won't have to call as many. So that will save you a lot of time in the office if you can use this procedure to get them to call you as they can and get scheduled.